don't worry, you'll be able to see. Hello, everyone. I've started the recording now, so you're all online. So what is the calling team for? Basically, think of us all as peers calling peers, getting people like us mobilized towards a specific action or event. We call on this calling team members and supporters of Momentum. So that's anyone who signed up. That is the phone list that we're calling from and have access to. So we tell them about an event close to them or chat through a role that they may have volunteered for with Momentum, like Labour Legends, for example. We could be telling them about canvassing or training events. We motivate them, and in turn, they motivate more people. And that's how we swing the marginals. What last election proved is that a few votes can make all the difference, and having real conversations with people, having that extra nudge and that extra push will make all the difference. And being on the call, you're going to have some lovely phone conversations. You're going to be talking to amazing people, because unlike when you're just calling for the Labour Party, because it's the Momentum database, we're talking to people who are Labour Party members, we're talking to people who've signed up who aren't Labour Party members but are really eager to get involved. We're talking to Labour legends who have never been involved in Momentum at all but are going to give up a week of their life to do something. So everyone is really, really excited and happy to talk to you. So it should be a breeze. So the online software that we use is called CallHub. So it's the same software as the texting team uses, and this works through a laptop or your computer. And it's a bit different to the Labour Party's Dialogue app. So that's worth mentioning for those who have used Dialogue in the past. If you've done phone banking with Labour before and are confident on the phone, that is amazing. It's worth noting that the calls through CallHub that we make is not classic phone banking in the same way that you would with Labour. It's a bit different because we're not calling voters and asking how they're going to vote. So it's not like a voter identification, but we're calling Momentum members and supporters, anyone who signed up, who care about Labour winning the election. So it's not so much of a sell and more about coordination, mobilization, and getting people organized and plugged in. So we will be calling people's phones, but through our laptops and computers. Kind of like a call center system, but for winning a socialist government. So many of our callers have reported about how encouraging it has been to speak to other Labour Party members and supporters. So it's amazing that you guys are doing this, and I think you're going to have the best time. I certainly have on the calls I've made. So depending on the needs of Momentum's campaign team, there'll be different calls using different scripts every week. But don't worry, this will all make sense when you first use CallHub. Using CallHub means that we can prepare scripts for you, and it makes it easy for you to record people's responses to the questions you're asking. And we can tweak the script from day to day if something in the campaign changes, or also if you let us know that actually there's a way that that script might be improved because you've got the same people who are saying, actually, I'm not getting this, or I'd really like to know this. So it can be flexible like that. The great news is that we can have an unlimited number of callers making calls at the same time using CallHub. So that's the call center bit. So between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m., which are our set times, every day between now and polling day, we're going to be able to make a huge number of calls. So I'm really, really excited about all of you newbies getting stuck in with some calling. So now for you guys to know, I am going to briefly show you my screen so you can see what it looks like when you log into CallHub. So 1 second, guys. Here we go. So this is me on my laptop. You can see Cool Hub is logged in up there. So, and this is what it looks like initially. And you'll be able to see the campaign that you've got. You'll be able to see a reminder of the script so you can refresh yourself with what we're going to be talking about. But handily, we also put a Google Doc, like a Word document in the Slack, which has this script in too. So you can play around with it. You can move it into ways that are going to make most sense for how you see things. So it's less cramped. You can make the font much bigger, or you can make it much smaller, but you can make it work for you. And all you have to do from your laptop is press join campaign. Now, because we're doing it from a laptop, you're talking to people like you would on a Skype call or on this Zoom call right now, which means that you either need Wi-Fi and a quiet room where you can just talk at your computer, or you simply need a set of headphones with a little mic attached. So most iPhones have these. Most of the headsets you can get for most phones will have this. It's really worth it if you've not got a quiet room, and it means you can call in several places. As I say, you're going to be calling from your laptop or your tablet rather than a mobile phone, rather than a home phone. So it's really, really worth making sure that you've got good Wi-Fi and that you've got one of these little things, because they're really, really handy. So when you join, and I'm not going to press this because fortunately we do have a very handy video that is also in the Slack for you, where a volunteer has recorded them actually going on and making one of the calls. So I really, really recommend you watching that video after this training one as an accompanyer. Oh dear. Guys, sorry. So many. It's why I wasn't on the phones today. So everything that I'm going to be saying, and even what the screen looks like, is on the guide. And you can find that guide in the Slack. It's pinned at the top and it's posted regularly. So when you're on the Slack, you want to look for the teeny tiny pin icon that is in the top left-hand corner under the title of our channel, #phoning, where you will be able to get the guides. But importantly, for those of you who don't know or haven't accessed it yet, Slack is the multi-channel like chat room, which you should all have been invited to or are already in the moment. It's like a very, very sophisticated WhatsApp. And it's a place where we're able to talk to each other and we're able to store documents. But it's also our workspace. So we work from the channel #phoning, and that's where you're going to get all the access and information about the campaigns that we're calling for. Every day, myself, Nadia, who's one of the other staff members for the calling team, or one of our wonderful key volunteers, will post what campaign that we're calling for that day and a link to the Google Doc that will say who we're calling, why we're calling them, and what we're calling about with some of the script, as well as some handy reminders. So don't worry, it is all in the guide and it's in Slack as well. Whew. Don't worry if it's a bit chaotic and overwhelming in Slack, just like my cough right now. In the beginning, we've had so many people come in. We've had thousands join up even in the last few days. So it's a bit of chaos because there's a huge amount of enthusiasm, but don't let it scare you off. We're here to help. There are volunteers from the Welcome Committee who are there. And as soon as you find #phoning, you've got a wonderful team and all of your teammates on here right now who can support you, including several of them who have done this for a little bit before. So don't be shy with your questions. Do ask. Pop it in that chat and we'll be able to help you out. But the basic process of how you start calling is getting onto CallHub. So I showed you what it looks like when you've logged in. In order to get a login, you need to message either myself, Nadia, or one of the key volunteers with a username and email address. Now, this is in the guide, don't worry, but that is going to be what gets you onto CallHub. And then you choose the outreach calling team. And the reason why you ask, we ask you to send it to us or a key volunteer is because we have all of the access to the back end. Because one of the things about using CallHub is that you don't actually see any of the phone numbers. We don't need to faff around with you having lists and lists of phone numbers. It's all there. It's all automated and ready for you to go. So Kaz, Anna, and Lisa are our CallHub superstars at the moment, and they will be on shift. So you will be able to check the CallHub schedule, and it will say key volunteer at the time and when they're there. So you can check in there to see who's online, to see who you want to send the email and username to. So that's your first step. Once you've told us that, and we've told you we've added you, you will get an activation email from CallHub. Do look out for this. Check your junk. It probably is in your main inbox. But that is how you activate it, is that you follow the link that goes from that sorry guys, that has gone from CallHub to you, and then you can sign in from there because you have to choose your password. Next, so you're all on CallHub. Next, you sign in for shifts on the CallHub schedule that is pinned to the top. Now, what's really important to say here is that we've been having a little bit of issues because it has been editable, and that we know it's very easy when there's so many of us that we accidentally delete things or move things around. So one thing that I will make really clear is that signing up on the schedule just means that we have an indication of who wants to be calling and when, but it's not a barrier for you to be calling. If CallHub schedule isn't working, pop in the Slack, just let us know that you're on the phones, let us know that you're there, and that's really going to be the best thing. It's just to make sure that we can see who's calling so that we know if things are really busy, or that we can chase people who have signed up and not been able to see if they're okay and that if they need any more support. But it's not a barrier to get phoning. So never don't phone because CallHub schedule isn't working. We want you on those phones. But also, it's election time. We really want you on those phones as much as possible. So please do sign up for at least a couple of hours a week. But the best thing to do as well is for any of us who have had some practice calling in the afternoons and you get quite a few voicemails, people apart, there will be people who are around in the afternoon, but the vast majority of people are going to be most available around lunchtime and in the evening. So if you can prioritize your times around lunchtime in the evening, that's amazing, and it's going to make all the difference. So you're on CallHub, you've sent us your email or username, you've got a login because you've created a password, you've signed up for a shift if you're able to, you've put it in your diary to let you know that you're definitely going to be calling then, and then you come on for that shift, you put a shout out in the Slack, you say, hey, I'm going to be doing some calling. We're all like, hey, good luck. This is what we're calling about today. You checked what the script is for that call and you're good to go. You log into CallHub and you start calling, and that's it. That really is it. Just make sure you've got access to Wi-Fi and maybe a little headset if it's noisy, and you're good to go. But if you do have any questions, you can always put it on the Slack. In the guide, we have also got some top tips on how to make the best calls. And we have the training video that I made, as I said before. But remember, the most important thing is that you are calling people who, like you, who want a Labour government, and often people do want to have a friendly chat with someone who thinks like them, gets people motivated, it lifts their spirits. We're calling people to tell them something new. Peer-to-peer calling is also importantly about spreading good vibes, keeping people buoyed up when they've got to go out canvassing in the rain. And it's so lovely to chat to others like us. And with that encouragement and solidarity that our team puts in, we will be playing a huge role in helping Labour win. So despite having coughed throughout most of that, I hope thank you, Lisa, telling me to get Lemsip. Lisa's one of our key volunteers in CAS, telling me to look after myself. Just saying hi. But now I'm going to open it up to some questions before we go. Is there anything that doesn't feel like it's been answered? As I said, this is also in the guide. It's in pinned. But is anyone unsure? Will you drink some water soon? Yes, I promise. Immediately next. How do we get on Slack? Okay. For those who haven't already, please go to volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com that I just posted into the chat box. So that's volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com. It's a little form. It will be where you register what team you're interested in. And then there's also, very importantly, you sign a non-disclosure agreement and a data agreement because we're all in this team. We're all here to work and we're all here contacting a lot of people. So it's really important to do that. If you feel like you've not signed it, and if you've not done that form, that's really, really important. So please contact me and let me know. If you've been in Slack for a while, or you've slipped through, or someone's added you, it's really important that everyone on Slack has signed a non-disclosure agreement and signed the data agreement. I can send you those forms. If not, and as a backup, go on to volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com and you'll have access to the non-disclosure agreement and data agreement that you can sign. If I have sent you my email address and a username for CallHub texting, that's a really, really important one. So for people who are on the texting and calling teams, do message me separately because it just means that I need to add you on CallHub also to the other team. So it's really simple to do. And once you've jumped through that hurdle, that's fine. Is CallHub different to Dialogue? It is different to Dialogue, yeah. Dialogue is, it's set similar in that it's on your laptop and you're calling people, but the phone list that we're using is different. What we're talking about is different, and it's a separate system as well, so it looks a bit different. You do need to use Google Chrome as well to download Dialogue. Is Dialogue out yet? It is coming soon, I have been told. They are working on it. So this is a really good way to use your skills on the phone to get people going until then. Are there any other questions? Who are you talking to on Dialogue and CallHub? On CallHub, we are talking to, because it's peer-to-peer, as I say, we are Momentum volunteers and supporters and sign-ups, talking to other Momentum volunteers, supporters and sign-ups. So it's our database. That's people who are in the Labour Party, that's people who aren't, but really want a Labour government. So it's quite expansive, and it might mean that you actually talk to people that you wouldn't hear otherwise. But whereas on Dialogue, you're mainly talking to an electoral role, asking them which way they're going to vote. We talk about slightly different things. We have longer conversations. We might have coordinating situations or talking to them about an event that we really want them to go to. So we're talking to them about different things, and we're also talking to slightly different people. Yeah, so Dialogue is taking its time. We will be talking about Dialogue once it's out in our Slack. We'll let people know, don't worry, but this is a really, really great way to get involved before then. And for all of our international friends on here who aren't actually able to use Dialogue, this is a wonderful way to still be very, very much involved. And a huge shout out to you guys because you're making all the difference. So once you've signed up to volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com, so I'm just going to put that again. So volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com, you will be added to Slack. In order to get onto CallHub, you need to message myself or one of the key volunteers who are on shift, and we will add you to CallHub. Once you've been added to CallHub, you'll get an activation email from them. So that's how you'll know that you've been added. But you need to look at that email because you'll be creating your own password so that you can go in. Cool, thank you. That's good to know in terms of the other teams. We've got welcome volunteers, and if you're worried and have any extra questions, you can go onto the hashtag general chat and ask people that way. But the best way to get to people about the phoning team is to message the hashtag phoning team. But it is just a message in hashtag phoning channel. Cool. And we see we're helping each other already. That's the best way. And this is why messaging in that chat is good too, because it means that if I or one of our lovely key volunteers aren't there because we're doing other things or we're not there 24/7, then I'm sure that there's someone else in the team who might be able to help. It's really important to note that, you know, we're doing this around other jobs, we're doing this around childcare responsibilities, helping out in local Labour parties. So if we don't answer immediately, we're going to be back to you as soon as we can. So do check out the CallHub schedule to see when the volunteers are signed up. Check out the Slack because they'll announce when they're on shift and say hello so that you know you're there, that they're there. So do just have a check out for that. So please do let us know on Slack about CallHub and we'll be getting you on then. Wonderful. Great. Is there anything else? So through CallHub, we are talking to other Momentum volunteers to encourage them to get them in and contribute more. It really depends. At the moment, we've got a really exciting campaign where we're talking to all the Labour Legends sign-ups and letting them know their next steps, which is really exciting. And we're hopefully going to be calling more Labour Legends about like placements, logistics. But this weekend, we're also hopefully going to have some mobilisation calls. So starting from tomorrow, we want to be telling people about canvassing over the weekend and letting them know how that goes. So you need to message myself or one of the key volunteers on Slack. That's really important. Message us on Slack with your email and username, probably separately, so your email isn't out for everyone to see. That's quite important. So it's on Slack. So I'm Rosie, and you can find me in hashtag phoning. So Rosie Carter Rich, that's me on Slack. But do just put a shout out in Slack and we'll let you know who to do it. It's quite late this evening. We've got lots of calls to do. So if we can't add you immediately, be patient with us. We'll add you as soon as we possibly can. Ooh. Right. I'm going to go get that water. And I'm sure that everyone who has been watching this in the training as it's recorded tomorrow will have enjoyed my lovely coughing and all of your questions. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I hope this training has been useful. As a little recap, onto Slack. If you're not on there, you want to go onto volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com. Once you're on Slack, if you're not on CallHub, you need to message myself, Nadia, or the key volunteers with your email and username in a separate chat, and we will add you as soon as we can. check out the guides when you're on Slack. It will explain everything that I've said here, and this will be a video, and we've got extra training videos available as well for how to have great phone calls, for what it looks like when you're on CallHub and calling. See, Lisa's adding people right now. We're ready to go. And you can start calling immediately. In fact, you could potentially start calling now until 8 o'clock, like our mates from Copenhagen. Brilliant. Right. Thank you, everyone, so much. Our wonderful volunteers. Kaz is here as well. We'll let you know where the guides are in case you can't find them. Always check out for that teeny tiny pin. We're good to go. Okay, everybody. It's been so lovely seeing you all. Thank you all for staying, and we'll see you on the phones. Bye, everyone. I know, I'm going to go get the water. Bye.